Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Successful Woman's Mindset. My name is Galit Ventura-Rozen. I am co-founder of Everyday Woman TV, and one of my favorite things in the world to do is spotlight women all over the world that are making a difference and sharing their talents and expertise with the world. Not just women, but also men. But I love that a lot of times they're focusing on women empowerment. Today, I am excited to be interviewing the beautiful Levine. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here.
Oh, I know. Finally. So Allie and I have been trying to get her on for a while, but she just had a baby 2 months ago, and you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. That means
That's
so much.
So much fun. So thank you for doing this. I know you're busy. And it's so nice to have you. I'm going to share a little bit about Allie, and then we'll jump right into her topic. I'm real excited today to be talking about how to design the life of your dreams. This is going to be so much fun. So Allie is a conscious celebrity stylist, a public speaker, TV personality, and certified breathwork facilitator. And we'll be talking about all of those things today so you can learn a little bit more about them. She's a world-renowned celebrity stylist and TV star personality from Bravo TV. From dressing the most famous people in Hollywood and public figures around the world, in 2020, Allie started her own personal inner journey and became a certified breathwork facilitator and coach. She is now a celebrity conscious stylist, sought-after media personality, healer, and known as a transformation expert. I absolutely love that. So let's jump right in. I know we have a lot to cover. I would love first to jump in and explain to people what a breathwork facilitator is, because a lot of people don't know what that is.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. So a breathwork facilitator is someone who consciously guides you through a breathwork experience. And so, of course, we all breathe, right? In everyday life, we're breathing. But are we really breathing the way I believe we've actually come into this world? Like when I look at my son, my baby, like you said, he's going to be 2 months this week, and you see him breathing from his stomach, and he's actually breathing, slow, anchored in breaths. That's really how we're supposed to be breathing. But of course, we come into the world and we have noise, we have busyness, we have all the things going on, and we forget how to breathe. So most of us shallow breathe or don't really breathe much at all. And so when you have a breathwork facilitator, they're guiding you through how to actually breathe consciously and to use the breath to calm the nervous system, bring more oxygen to the body, to help actually with your gut and your immune system, to help, the actual rest and digest in your parasympathetic nervous system. There are so many benefits when we consciously breathe. And then when you go into a breathwork session, I kind of describe it as like you almost go to the spa, or you go, to do a meditation with someone who's guiding you and helps you essentially reach higher consciousness of levels of yourself. Because like in meditation, when you're really, concentrated and allowing everything to clear out and be silent, when we're breathing and we're being anchored in consciously and we're being taught different breath exercises that help us breathe and really anchor into the body is the channel, right? And so while we're doing this, all of a sudden we start to access these higher conscious levels of, delta, theta, gamma, without even honestly meaning to, just because we're bringing more oxygen in and we're only concentrating on the breath and nothing else. And when we're able to do that and be guided in that, that's an actual breath work experience. And someone can take you through, what is the breath that you're looking for? Are you looking to be activated that morning and bring in more energy to the body? Are you wanting to be more peaceful and potentially be in like a meditative state? And they can guide you through that. You can also, like for me, I help them, come up with like their intention of like, what's your intention today? I want to breathe into abundance. I want to breathe into, a healthy mindset, whatever it may be. Or I want to release, now being the full moon right now, and people that follow, astrology and everything that kind of impacts our lives, whether we realize it or not, people will say, hey, I want to kind of follow what's going on with the moon right now. I want to release. I want to, shed what's maybe holding me back. And it's like, okay, let's breathe into that. And then a lot of breathwork facilitators like myself will curate playlists so that you have music to go along with it, because we know your cells are always listening. So having music to follow along. So everything kind of comes beautifully curated together, with starting with the anchoring in of you consciously breathing and recognizing what that feels like in the body, so that you can return home to this place hopefully over and over again.
I will share with you that when we are so busy, it's funny because we really don't realize that we don't take these deep breaths. And it sounds like it's not just for the consciousness, but it's also for your health.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because I have diagnosed a general anxiety disorder, and I don't take any medication or not. I just choose not to. There's nothing wrong with taking it. I choose to do things naturally. And one of the things that helps me so much is stopping and just taking those deep breaths. So it sounds to me what you're doing is almost teaching us what we have forgotten, in a sense, through the chaos of life and every day. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, the chaos. Exactly. And I love that you know, like you said, nothing wrong with taking something, but I love that you access yourself and choose to do it naturally, because we all can if we really allow and anchor into that. And you just said it so beautifully. It's like the fact that, you know, we get caught up in the chaos. We get caught up in the everyday world. It takes away from our sense of inner peace. It takes away from the fact that, like, oh, we're not breathing. Oh, you know, why am I, you know, essentially in a trauma response all the time? I'm in a stressful place. I'm in fight or flight. You don't have to necessarily be in actual trauma. You're in, you know, this stressful place that's fight or flight. And all of a sudden you're like, why am I reacting to everything? Why is everything triggering me? And it's like, well, because I'm not breathing. I'm not actually taking in those deep breaths. So you're right. That's where it starts.
And we don't do it consciously.
No,
we don't just, I mean, obviously we're breathing all the time. If not, we wouldn't be able to
live.
Right. Yeah. So how long are these workshops or these? I know you do these because I'm part of your group. How long would something like this be that you're facilitating?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's different ones. Usually the minimum I do is an hour, just because people can get centered into their space and actually really go through the experience. Some people will say, you know, hey, I only have 30 minutes and I can do that. And I'm happy to, and, you know, help them kind of activate their breath. That's usually a more integrative session. Like it's a quicker, you know, start my morning kind of thing, or I have a lunch break and I want to pump myself back up before I get back into work kind of thing. I always recommend an hour or more, just because I think that that's when you get to really settle into the body. You allow yourself to really anchor into that, and you can experience it fully, you know, and really understand and receive whatever the body is giving you. Because the body, like I said, you know, is the channel. It's the messenger, in my opinion. And I think that, you know, any of us can recognize if something feels off in our body, we know something is just, something's off, right? Like we don't know maybe what it is.
When you're aware, Allie, we know that not everyone is as aware as you and I are, because we've done the work, we've gone through the journey. But when you really stop, like Allie's talking about, and taking this time to do the breath work, and it really is just a stop, you become so aware of your body that it almost tells you something's off. And it's the most beautiful thing, because what happens is we live in a society today where we have the ability to know if something is wrong with our health, and most of the time heal it. And so what I love about that breath work and that stop is you are not just teaching people how to breathe correctly or in a way that will help them and they can enjoy. You're also saying, hey, you're now connecting with your body, if it's your heart or your legs or your organs or whatever, or even just your brain. So I really, really love that you do this. And I'd love for you to jump into, when we talk about designing the life of your dreams, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, obviously we know each other for quite a bit now, from when I started in the, you know, styling space, and I was going to red carpets, and we were, you know, me being with my first daughter, my baby, you know, Amelia, when she was really young. And I was very much on autopilot then, you know, and I was very much in the stress, in the chaos. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love, you know, my life and my career. But at one point I started realizing that I was just losing myself, and I was no longer, like how you're speaking to, being aware. I was not aware. I was very much kind of just going on autopilot, you know, following the grind, and not actually like enjoying and receiving. And it wasn't until truly, like, you know, you said in my bio, like 2020, where I started, I think like most of us, it was a catalyst for many, where it became like this pause, and it was like, okay, what do I do when the world is quiet? And that was where I had to go on this like inner journey with myself. And that's when, you know, the breath found me, or I found breath work. And I recognized in all of that, that when you become conscious, when you become aware, you can actually design the life of your dreams in every aspect, and actually, you know, understand that all four pillars, you know, mind, you know, body, you know, physical, emotional, everything, in my opinion, is so crucial and so important to work and flow together. And when you can come to that awareness and say, you know, this is what I want this part of my life to look like, and this is how I want this to be. It takes work, of course. It takes mindset, it takes showing up in that space in a different way, but you can do it. And so I've learned from my own journey of like my own transformation. Like, don't get me wrong, I love styling and I love working with celebrities.
It's not about that though, Ellie. It's about loving it more.
Yes.
And being in a place where now you can almost not just enjoy it more, but be aware of how wonderful it is. There's something so beautiful. I was like you, my journey was over 12 years ago though. It's been over 12 years ago since I had my awakening, and it was rough.
Yeah, it's rough.
It really is. So I remember that I was on autopilot too. I had 3 children between the ages of 9 and 16, actually younger even. And I was also had my own business, and I was doing all the things I was supposed to do, PTO and going this, and I was just going until 10 o'clock at night when I'd pass out from exhaustion. Then when I went through the journey like you did, I realized, wait, and another thing that you probably are going to share is when you stop and you become aware and you do the work, the breath work and the awareness, you don't get sick anymore. No, nothing wood. I haven't been sick for years. I used to burn out from that and just end up in bed for a week.
Yep. And that's such a good point. And it's so true. You become so aware, you become so in tune with your body, with your mind, with your spirit, with everything, that you figure out this flow, right? And you start to actually realize like, oh, wow, if I actually allow myself to be more in flow, more comes to me, more happens. I don't have to do. I can be, I can enjoy, I can relish. And I believe, you know, it's like that energy that we're putting out, we're receiving back, you know, and you know, and if you believe everything is energy and we are energetic beings, well, then that makes sense. And then you take in breath work to that, and you're moving the energy through your body. So it's a consistent flow versus being stagnant, and things are going to continue to flow. And I realized in 2020, I was going through all these massive breakdowns from breathing in the best way possible to have these breakthroughs. And I was like, wait, this is like pure magic, but this is within us. Like, this is our sacred life force. Like, what's happening, you know? And it was like taking it back to the styling space, helping people actually consciously create conscious closets, conscious styling, you know, realizing when you put on an outfit, you can manifest, you know, that, you know, opportunity you want, or that person you want to attract. The colors have vibrations, that there's a reason why, you know, you're drawn to something, that you should think about consciously what it feels like when you put something on. You know, like this morning when I got ready to be on with you, like I tried something on, I was just like, oh,
what am I supposed to wear today? It's so funny because for me, it's blue.
I love it. I was gonna say blue is a fantastic color.
It's my color. It's been my favorite color since I could speak and remember a favorite color. And yesterday I went to an event. There was about 120 people, and I wore a blue, we call them blazers. I don't know what they're called today, but I wore a blue blazer. It was a work event, and the amount of compliments I got, and I giggle because I actually have to work at not wearing blue because all I want to do is
wear blue. I love it.
Blue. But whenever somebody sees me in blue, my energy radiates, and I'm getting all these people coming and talking to me because it's my favorite color and it makes me feel good. So even those
that lights you up, so people feel that. And the color blue in vibration is very much of like serene, calm, peaceful. So they probably feel that energy and receive that. And they're receiving your energy because you're so lit up by what you're wearing. And so it's like, that's going to draw you in, right? When you go into a room and you're excited about something and you feel someone's energy, you may not know exactly what it is you're excited about, but you can feel it. It's real. Same with when you go somewhere and you're like, oh, I don't necessarily love the feeling of this, and maybe I'm going to leave where I am.
Oh my gosh. That one for us women and men that really are understanding that, we know how to listen to that and go, oh, heck no. And then I walk the other way.
Right.
But for those listening that might not understand the spiritual side, I want you to compare it to just a gut feeling. Like people understand the word gut. Okay?
Yeah, your gut.
I have this gut feeling, or I have this red flag, or you always want to listen to those things, because when you do venture over to the world of energies and spiritual, which I love, you then understand, holy crap, that's what it was trying to say. And the best part, which I want to really point out before I get you to share where people can get a hold of you and work with you, is that we don't realize how much that thing, that feeling is so important to listen to. And we don't need to know why in this minute.
Yes.
I've had multiple times where I've done something or walked away from something and had no clue why. And I may never know why, but for me, it was better to walk away than it was to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was your gut, right? And you're right. On
Yes.
a very physical level, our gut tells us, that is our intuition, that is our knowing. And so trusting that and embodying that and allowing us to tell us. And then that's where you take that to the next level and then actually consciously design the life of your dreams and say, this is what feels good. This is what doesn't. This is what I want to wear. This is what doesn't. And it can be a very simple, basic physical level. Even if you're not in, like you said, in the energy space and spiritual space, you can make it really simple and say what works for me and what doesn't, and what serves me and what doesn't. And you can feel it regardless of if you're awakened to this or not. And that's why
just listen,
designing the life of your dreams.
Yeah, listen to this. Listen to this. Ali, I know we could talk for hours. I'll have to have you on again, but I would love for you to please share before we wrap up how people can learn more about you, how they can connect with you so they can work with you.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thanks for having me. So you can find me at my website, alilevine.com. All my social media is at Ali Levine Design. My podcast, if you are interested in energy and spirituality, these type of conversations, is Awakening with Ali. And my Calendly and Linktree and everything, if you want to book a session, is on my website as well as in my Linktree on social media. It was so much fun to have this conversation with you. Thank you.
I'm so glad we reconnected. Next time on my show, we'll talk about the connection.
Absolutely.
It's so much fun how things go full circle. But I thank you so much for sharing so much of your journey with us and sharing with us the talents that you have as a certified breathwork facilitator, and that you really have gone and learned how to do this the right way. You didn't just wake up in the morning and decide to do it. And that's so important, because doing it right and teaching others and guiding them is an important part of their success. So
yes,
thank you.
A leader, right? You know this. I mean, you've been in the space,
yes,
being a leader for a very long time. And when we can embody this and be a leader and help others to be led into this, there's just so much goodness in it. And that's why it lights me up to share it.
I know. And we can hear how passionate you are. And I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for those of you watching on Everyday Woman TV, thank you. And for those listening on the podcast, I appreciate you. And thank you for joining me for another episode of The Successful Woman's Mindset. My name is Galit Ventura-Rozen, and I will see you next time. Bye.